With me today is Cindy Hochart, author, public speaker, and coach, and she is the author of an upcoming book, Harnessing the Power of Human Commitment. With 30 years of experience in corporate America, Cindy has led and coached many teams and individuals for success. Cindy is now a public speaker and executive coach, helping companies achieve greater employee engagement and productivity by connecting with their mission. Welcome.
Hi, Jeff.
Glad you're here, and your new book sounds very compelling. Tell me what you mean by harnessing human commitment.
Well, you know, there are bumper stickers that say our most important asset lives, 60 feet ahead. That's on the back of a semi-trailer I was following recently. And it's absolutely true. The most important asset of most companies is their human workforce. But unfortunately, in today's society, the engagement of that human workforce is lacking. As a matter of fact, it's said that only 30% of Americans are actually engaged in the work that they do. So imagine if you're a company and your most important resource are the humans, and only 30% of them really care about the work.
Can you give me an example?
Yeah, there are some great companies out there that have excellent missions. One that I worked for, which was very compelling, was Mosaic Life Care, which was in St. Joseph, Missouri. And they just did an excellent job of creating in every single employee an empowerment to accomplish the overall mission, which was to serve those who are vulnerable, those who are sick and facing illness. And so they incorporated mission into every single thing that they did, their policies, their staff meetings, and everything they did was all around helping the people connect with why they were there.
And every kind of employee or staff member, from
Absolutely.
executive to
from the doctors, the nurses, the healthcare assistants, the dietary personnel, maintenance, everybody was on mission.
And what was the results for the consumer?
Well, the result for the consumer was they always felt cared for. The patient satisfaction, that's a hospital system, the patient satisfaction in that hospital was always in the high 90%. Wow. The employees loved their jobs. Their retention was very high. I think the company had something like a 3% turnover rate. So very low turnover and high job satisfaction.
So high job satisfaction and employee engagement. Yes. And high retention.
High retention.
So the bottom line is very healthy because of that.
Exactly. The bottom line is you're spending probably your greatest expense, other than maybe facility expense, is your human capital. Yeah. And so if you're going to put that much money into your humans, then you want to get as much out of those humans as possible.
Now, that's an example of a hospital, so by nature, they're helping and serving. Do you feel like any company can develop a mission that gets everybody aligned?
Absolutely. Every company can develop a compelling mission statement and a compelling mission for people to connect with. And that's because every company exists to solve a problem, right? At the base of it, every company, no matter if they're just manufacturing widgets, they're creating something to solve a problem. It's a service or a product to solve a problem. And so there's a human impact, or there's an impact to the earth. So everyone can get behind whatever that connectivity is. And even companies who are around retail, so maybe their product is clothing, they can develop a very strong mission about their corporate responsibility. So there's a strong ability for connectivity to mission in every company.
With the goal of really imbuing their employees, their executives with passion and to be inspired to come to work. Could you talk a little, first of all, is that realistic, that we can expect people to get impassioned and inspired, and how do you do that?
Well, there's a couple of things there, Jeffrey. First of all, is it possible for every human to be inspired? And the answer is mixed. So yes, it's absolutely possible and realistic to have your corporation be driven by mission. And if you embed it in your leadership training and in all of your staff meeting and your human resource policies, mission can become a strong driver in your organization. Now, the reason that I give a caveat there is because humans still have the ability to choose, right? So every human has the ability to say, yes, I'm going to connect with that mission, or no, I'm not. But for those who don't, what happens is they do self-selection. So if you're in an organization and your values don't line up with the mission of that organization, you choose to go somewhere else, and that's perfectly fine for everybody involved.
So your book, Harnessing the Power of Human Commitment. Talk to us about commitment. So you've agreed we're going to have a mission and try to align people to it, but for the moment that could just be on paper, right? How does commitment come in there?
Yeah, no, the difference is about really connecting with your personal level of, not to overuse it, but commitment. So you can show up for a job and your commitment is to the paycheck. But if you show up for a job because you want to help them accomplish what they've set out to accomplish, then everything that you do in that role that you are serving in that corporation is designed to help you get closer to them meeting their mission. And that's the difference between inspiration and desperation. So someone who's inspired on the job is going to effortlessly find it fun. They're going to find the work easy to do. They're going to be able to come up with out-of-the-box, innovative ways to do things because they're all about trying to figure out how to accomplish that mission. Versus someone who's just there for the paycheck, they're acting out of desperation. All they want to do is get through the day, and you're not going to get the same level of drive, engagement, enthusiasm, or results that you get when you get the person who is on the mission.
And it sounds like also aligning a company around a strong mission is an amazing part of team building, isn't it? Because
it absolutely
one
is.
person who's in desperation, or how about a department that's in desperation, in that negative mode,
right,
it could sink the whole thing.
And if you allow that to proliferate through your organization, then it's like the old adage about one bad apple in the whole bunch. Negativity can be infectious, but so can positivity. So you want to make sure that you are supporting with your corporate mission and the human resource policies surrounding it the kinds of results that you want to achieve in your organization. And you want the employees to have an experience, and that experience that they have needs to be very positive and associated with that mission.
And those positive experiences can go viral
They
in the right way
absolutely
within
can.
an organization.
And there are organizations that have long waiting lists of people who want to work for them because it's such a fun, exciting place to work as compared to just getting a paycheck.
And people leaving.
People leaving.
People lining up to leave if they could.
Right.
Big difference.
You know, I've worked for corporations with amazing calls to mission and some that just really don't get it. And the ones with the amazing call to mission who really are able to incorporate it into the work-life experience of the employees are those that the employees love to talk about their work. Today, I saw an article published by Forbes magazine that said 70% of Americans hate their job. Well, there are 700 million people in America that spend more than 60% of their day doing something that doesn't inspire them and bring them joy. That is a sad epitaph on American work life. So my call to corporations is to work with me to develop that compelling mission statement and help your employees engage with that mission, and then you'll begin to see the turnaround.
And why is this a passion for you? Why is this so meaningful as a consultant, as a coach, working with companies, speaking, doing workshops? This means a lot to you. Why is that?
It does. And from one perspective, Jeffrey, it's because I was a victim. I've experienced that corporate America philosophy of, work them till they drop. And without having that connectivity of the mission, then that work and desperation is what led me to that day on the back of the plane when I wanted to just jump out. And it doesn't have to be that way. I've also worked in organizations where they have a compelling mission, and every day is a new opportunity to make a step forward for that mission, as opposed to just surviving and not jumping off the plane.
Do you think finding a mission and then aligning yourself to it is at least one of the antidotes to burnout?
Oh, it absolutely is. As a matter of fact, the people who go through burnout, I would suggest need to take a step back and rethink their own mission and figure out if they are in alignment with their company's mission. Because if they're working for a company that doesn't represent the values that they hold dear, then there's probably going to be a disconnect, and the result can be dissatisfaction, and over a long term, then that becomes burnout.
So I know you can come into companies and organizations, nonprofits, and teach them how to do this. What's one or two of the first steps that a company or an organization can do to create a culture that's going to be mission driven?
Well, there's a couple of strong things. First of all, whether the company has a mission statement or not that's compelling and that the employee workforce is connected to is the first question. So once you get that, then I have had a good coach that taught me about storytelling. And storytelling can be a very powerful mechanism to help your employees connect with your mission. If your mission is one that is about helping people, then you can tell stories easily about not only what it's like for those who are in need of the mission, but also the success stories that come out the other side for completing those missions.
It's great. Well, I appreciate the work that you do, and any last words about finding your mission or how to get started doing it?
I would love to have more dialogue with folks who are interested in moving their organization to a more mission-driven organization. So reach out to me and we'll have a consult for free. We'll see what the next steps would be for that particular organization, and then we'll move forward from there.
Sounds great. Taking people from burned out to on fire.
Exactly.
I love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. So if you would like to hear more about working with me for public speaking, coaching, or consulting with your organization to become more mission-driven, please see my website at www.cindyhochart.com. And I look forward to working with you.